Hello, welcome to another briefing. So, in this briefing, I'm going to start out with a satellite image per usual. Just looking at the nationwide picture here, even though I will be focusing on the Bay Area in this briefing, that's where I'm based. You can see mostly dry conditions across the western United States. You do see some pockets of fog, particularly eastern Washington and northern, central and northeastern Oregon. This cold air gets trapped in the valleys, condenses. You have a lot of moisture sometimes in these valleys, and then the cold air sinks down from the mountains overnight, condenses, and it gets trapped in there as there's just not enough uh, radiation from the sun this time of year to heat the ground, and so this fog can get trapped. We did have a little bit of that in the Central Valley of California this morning as well. And we do have some high clouds over parts of northern and central California. It's just related to a weak cutoff low offshore. Shouldn't really bring any rain or anything like that. We're looking at this conditions pretty much drying out again by tomorrow. If we draw where the jet stream is, what the jet stream's been doing, you can see that the jet stream is way up into northern Canada right now. Huge ridge of high pressure blocking pattern over the western United States. You have a bit of a clipper system over in the Midwest, and you have should have a deeper trough here off of in the East Coast. You have this big cold front stretching across northern Florida right now. That's draw that again. Okay, so here's that cold front draped across Florida right now and into the southeast, into parts of northern Florida. Mostly clear skies and warm conditions down in the Caribbean. These cold air shots look like they're not really getting that far south. It did get a little chilly in Miami, might get a little chilly in Miami again, but once you get south of the Bahamas into Cuba, Turks and Caicos, and so on, it's pretty warm and humid, not much change there. But yeah, a lot of dry air over the west coast, a blocking kind of pattern. I'm going to go ahead and show that on the computer model guidance now. So if we start out the European model, as of 4 a.m. this morning, you can see that big ridge of high pressure in controls going through tonight and tomorrow, and that those clouds will retreat because this system is way off the coast, and you just see continued high pressure. And what I'm talking about here with the blocking pattern, if I go zoom out a little bit, I'll show you this. It's when you have a big ridge like this. So basically, the jet stream is following this dark red area here on these height lines. And that's the barrier in between the colder air masses and the warmer air masses. And you have a big warm air mass here. You have a lot of warm air surging northward. Warmer air columns. You have a big high pressure system here. Winds in the northern hemisphere flow clockwise around the high pressure system, and therefore you have what we call a blocking pattern in meteorology, where these storms try to come in off of the Pacific in this case, and they get deflected to the north, in this case well into Alaska and northern Canada, and then they come down the backside, the other side of the high pressure here, down into parts of the eastern Rockies, into the northern plains. A lot of cold air spilling into the Midwest and into the East Coast right now, also as we speak. Going to go ahead and put this computer model projection into motion. Keep in mind, this is one deterministic model, one run. If I had more time, I would show different models as well, but we're just going to focus in on this model just to get a general picture. And this model does usually tend to do pretty well with this kind of with these kind of like medium range forecasts. So what we're seeing is we have a little inside slider system, a potential at this point, for an inside slider type system to slide down from the Pacific Northwest into parts of the Intermountain West, and that might clip California with a few spotty showers. Could be some good snow in the Sierra because this would be a nice cold system, but not a lot of moisture with that, unfortunately. And then we're looking at maybe out towards the 27th, 28th, we would get some rain, but it would be a pretty warm rain. Would be high snow levels for the Sierra because you're in the warm sector of the jet stream here. So this particular low pressure system here is pulling in a lot of warm air ahead of it because they're in the warm sector. Now, if we were getting something like this low back here, that's a colder storm. That would have been nice. Because when you're out here, you're in this cold air layer. And even the warmer air is pretty cold. So, even though you're getting south wind here too, this air mass that you're getting it from is colder. So, that's the kind of pattern we want to see, a deep trough. If this were positioned, if this trough right here were actually over here, then we would get these kind of systems come in and be much colder and really give us those low snow levels. But unfortunately for now, it's looking like the next system that does come is going to be pretty warm. It'll be nice and wet, but pretty warm. Unless this inside slider from the 25th, for instance, were to set up just a little further west, and we would have more, instead of the trough doing this, we would have it doing this. Then we could get a little moisture in here into this cold air, and we would get a nice cold storm. But it's not looking how it's gonna play out like that as of now. We'll have to keep an eye on this. Let me just, for the heck of it, take a look at the GFS and see what that is projecting, and it's surprisingly mostly in agreement with what the Euro has to say. Actually, sorry. Okay, that was too good to be true. It's not the GFS. That's the same model. Okay, here we go. Here's the GFS, and it's kind of similar. It's actually got a shallower trough out here, so that's actually not looking that good for rain chances. So I was hoping maybe it would look a little better, but no. So, yeah, I mean, we're just like maybe something on the 28th, but unfortunately it is looking pretty dry for a while. Anyways, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you for watching this. I hope you were able to get something out of it, and I'll see you next time.